Robby D and the lesser known.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Robby D and the Lesser Knowns. I am your expert host, Robby D. All right, then. And with me, as always, is producer Will.
Hello.
There he is. Give a Jim look. Love it. Guys, just remember, we are going to be coming to you through your ears as well as on the YouTube channel, Robby D and the Lesser Knowns, so you can watch the podcast in case you want to know what we're doing if we make any visual jokes. But enough of my crap. Let's get to the reason why we're here. And that is she's dancing over there. She's miming her excitement, which is nice. My guest today is a very talented woman. She's a session director. So we'll talk a little bit about that. She's an actress. She did some theater. She's from the Midwest. So that's a lot of things you might have in common with her. But more importantly, she's a mother, and a darn good one at that. So say hello to our wonderful guest today, Mrs. Amy Handelman.
Hello.
How do you spell Handelman?
Handelman.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering that.
It's a misconception. People often spell it like a door handle.
Oh.
But we're funky like that.
How angry do you get when people do that?
Never. I just let it go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, or did you ever hit a certain point where
I used to be a little more prickly about it, but now I'm like, as long as you can say it, I'll take it.
Okay.
You know?
Handelman. Handelman.
Ooh, yeah, you
You're
got the
fresh. Handelman.
Jesus Christ.
It's fun to say. It's a lot of
It's fun.
syllables.
Try it.
Handelman.
Or it's like, it's like,
It's a very whispery Will.
you could replace it in Zoolander and be like, hey, cool story, Handelman.
Handelman?
Instead of Hansel. That Handelman, so hot right now.
Literally.
Handelman.
Got
Are you
it.
hot?
No.
Okay, we can fix that.
I'm good.
As you know, guys, we're coming to you from live inside the booth. It does, these soundproof panels do a great job of insulating as well, so it might be a little warm in here, and for that, I apologize.
No, this is a light turtleneck. It's not a heavy one.
Okay.
Tactical.
Yeah.
turtleneck.
It covers, so I'm comfortable, but it's light.
Good. We want you to be comfortable.
You don't want to get the sweaty pits.
Is that a problem?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of women I know sweat. It's a big thing after you have a baby, too, because you have a lot of fluid inside of you. Seriously, it's the best diet when you have a baby because you lose like 25 pounds and it's all water weight. The day.
You lose like 8 pounds, 1 ounce pretty quickly.
Is that how much you weighed?
No, I think I was 714.
Yeah.
It was a joke I was going for. As long as that got across, I'm happy.
Nailed it.
Thanks.
My brother was 12 pounds.
Good God, man.
He was a straight up toddler.
What?
Yeah.
Your
Yeah,
poor
he was
mom.
born in Japan, and he was so big that the doctors were freaking out about it because we were in Japan, that they put like Ikibono, who was the sumo champion that year, on like the door, and like Japanese doctors and nurses would like come in and look at my mom and my brother like, oh, and they would just leave, and my mom was like, get them the fuck out, like they're just coming in here looking at this monstrosity I pushed out of me.
How? Which brother was that?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Yeah.
He came out and he was just like, I tell you, Mom, it was hot in there.
he was
Anyway, when's lunch?
Big.
I'm hungry.
He's still a big eater too.
Yeah, I gotta hurry and eat. I gotta get back to college. Let's go, Mom. Come on.
Oh my God, 12 pounds. Whew.
How big was your? I'm sorry. Remind me your baby's name.
Elliot.
Elliot.
Yeah, he was little. He was early. I was telling you, he's
Yes,
3 pounds
yes.
11 ounces. He was a teeny tiny guy.
Oh.
Yeah, and they sent him home with us when he reached 5 pounds. It was like the magic number.
5 pounds.
Hmm.
Okay.
And then he's since put on about 23 pounds.
So he's 28 pounds
He's
right
like, no, maybe he's like 27, 26, 27. He's like a chunk. I call him my monkey chunk.
now. Monkey chunk.
Call him so many names.
That's the best
Like-
part about being a parent, I think, is that
Yeah.
you can say anything you want to describe your child, and there's very few things that people won't be like, oh. It's like, oh, look, there's my cute little blueberry muffin. Like, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
you call your kid, huh? I like monkey chunk.
I call him, but I also, it's like, that's a derivative of like my chunk monkey boy.
Some sort of a monkey.
Or like, yeah, but that's only one strain.
How many strains are there?
Many. I also call him like the dude. I call him a lot of things.
The dude?
I call him Stinky Butt.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's what my wife calls me.
sweet.
Yeah.
She does. I think it's cute.
Any
Yeah.
other cute nicknames?
Yeah, I call him like cutie boy or like or Mister a lot. Yeah, I call him a lot of names.
Mister, that's a good one.
Yeah, you know,
Mister.
it's effective.
Mm-hmm.
But I like worry. I'm like, I don't know if he knows his name because I never say it. You know, I don't really say it very often.
Elliot. Who the hell is that?
Yeah. I just like, I don't know who you're talking to.
I'm Monkey Butt.
Sorry, my
Yeah.
name isn't Elliot. It's Chunk Monkey now.
What words do you use when he's in trouble?
It's a lot of like gibberish still. He can say things like down
Okay.
and bus and up. And I think what else does he say? He actually walked into our bedroom the other day. My husband had left to go for a run, and he was like straight up, very clear, "Where's Dada?" It blew me away because that's like his first sentence, but it's mostly like closely sounding to words, but not actually being words. And sometimes he has like these strings of sentences and not a sound to be recognized, you know, but syllables. He calls me
does that.
he calls me Baba or Dada, but he always calls my husband Dada.
Calls you Dada.
Sometimes.
What are you wearing around the house?
I do.
Her overalls? Is that not normal?
I wear a beard. What? Fuck you. It's my kid.
I do wear this one robe, but that's it. I mean, not like only the robe, but I don't have anything like identifiably my husband's. But
Fair enough.
yeah,
Well, I mean, nowadays I think it's okay for children to turn into what they turn into.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Me too.
So no judgments in the Robby D and Lesser Knowns booth. We're happy you're doing a great job as a parent, showing love, which is
Basically, everyone's alive today, so that's a good start. You know.
that's oh my god.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Yeah.
That's like the pilot's checklist. Like everyone's alive. We did it.
Right. We live
Any
to tell
landing
tale.
you can walk away from is a good landing.
I
right?
agree.
I say that every night. Yeah.
Speaking of landing, let's land with Amy Handelman here.
Wow, smooth transitions.
That
Silky,
went-
buddy.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Top notch.
Amy, first off, thanks for coming by today.
Thanks for having me,
We
Robbie.
appreciate
You know
it.
I got nothing but love for you.
No. See,
Yeah.
that makes me feel special.
Good.
So you're born and raised in Detroit area. Is
Area. Definitely area. I'm
Okay.
not like from the Dirty D. I'm from a suburb.
that what it's called?
Well, no, it's called a lot of things. The D is what we call it, but about 40 minutes north of the city. But it's like a huge metro suburban area around Detroit.
What's it called?
Suburban Detroit.
That's
Oh,
what
my.
it's I meant the town.
That
It's
was
called
great.
Suburban Detroit. Yes, that's wonderful. Good.
It's called West Bloomfield.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, and there's kind of a little pocket. There's like Bloomfield, West Bloomfield, Southfield. There's like a bunch of little fields near each other. And it's Farmington. It's a
Go
couple-
Tigers.
Yes. Yes. High five.
Tigers fans up in the booth.
Yeah. We have like a mixed house because it's Tigers, me,
Uh-huh.
Cubs husband, and then Dodgers, I guess, for our dude, our little guy.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
Doyers.
You can get into being an Astros fan. Justin Verlander plays for there, but that's another.
He used to play for Detroit.
I know.
Yeah, I know. But I love Verlander. I always have, and I always will.
Deep.
Yeah. It's the most serious I
He's a
get on
big
the show.
fan of Verlander.
Even before we traded for him, I swear I loved Justin
No, he did.
Verlander.
He did
He was a
like
man.
Verlander.
He was a
can
man
attest.
amongst boys.
I will attest.
And then we
Yeah.
traded for him, and I was just like, I remember Will was crying here at the office. Literally was about to be crying. Like
I was not.
I was like,
crying.
but
upset.
okay, well maybe you can help settle this. I was saying he should be happy
Yeah.
because Detroit obviously isn't going to go in for a couple years. Not a bad thing. They're
No,
rebuilding.
no, you're right.
And
Rebuilding.
Justin Verlander's older, and he had won a World Series. He did all he could for the city. Why don't you let him go somewhere where he can win a championship? Well,
Yeah.
he should be happy. Like
I
go.
I
Go.
said, let's. You're presenting this like I was like, no, fuck Verlander.
I think you probably said no. Fuck you. I believe is what you
I
said.
did say fuck you, but that was
Yeah.
aimed to you, not to
Pretty
Verlander.
sure that was the first
I'm
thing
not
I said.
happy that I'm losing Verlander, but I don't need to like hold on to him like some sort of petty child. But like, if you want me to be like, hey Verlander, go out there and win all the championships that we like. I don't wish him ill, but I'm not like, hey man, get out there. Like, fuck it. Like
No.
he's not on my team anymore.
That's why you're a miserable person.
I'm not a miserable person, but I'm not out there rooting for
I
some
feel like that
Astros.
was the general, though.
Yeah,
I was
would
kind of
root-
like, go do your thing, but like, don't
Yeah,
let the
don't-
door hit you on the way out.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
When you traded
I'm
La-
not burning your
when-
jersey,
when
but
we
I'm not
traded
gonna be wearing it anymore.
When
you
we
know?
traded Berkman to the Cardinals, I was happy to see him win a World Series with the Cardinals because he did so much for organization. I realized what I just
But
said.
you didn't bring it. You didn't bring Verlander didn't bring a World Series home.
Neither did
did
Berkman.
not.
Berkman went to the Cardinals and won a World Series. What I mean is I was happy for him because he was such a great guy. And
I
he
guess
Even though
you
it
got.
wasn't
I guess
for
you
the
got more
Astros.
love
Deserve
in
a
your
ring.
heart to give. All right. This is. This is the heart of a Detroit fan.
That's what I
all
said.
right?
You're just a
we
miserable,
expect a
miserable
championship or get the fuck
person.
out of here.
I mean, we're used to the Red Wings.
Yeah.
The Lions, though. Oof.
ridiculous streak. They what was it, like 23 years and 26 years in a row
Yeah.
they made the playoffs.
Red Wings are our pride and joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I think that's the record for most longest playoff streak in sports. We'll look that up. But I think the Red Wings went 26. We got a Google guy. 26 straight years have made the playoffs. They won their division.
Yeah, they did very well for a very long time.
Yeah. Well, you got that going.
Thanks.
That's great. So at a young age, let me guess, you were just in the theater and you wouldn't leave and you loved acting and singing and dancing.
I wish it was that, like, delicious. It's actually, I'm one of 3 girls, and my older sister is an actress. And so
Okay.
I was like, oh, I'm going to do what she does because she's the best and so cool. So she joined, like, choir, and she was always just, like, art driven, like, art interested. And we were too. And my mother, a teacher, always loved live theater, a very talented sewer and seamstress and, like fine motor skill craft person. She would make costumes for us, like elaborate, beautiful costumes for all the like Halloween or Purim and any show we did. Like, she's so talented. So she was always very supportive of it because she loved going to the theater and being a part of like the arts or like being arts adjacent. But yeah, my older sister did it, so I did it. And then my little sister did it because I did it, and my older sister did it.
Do they still do it?
My older sister is an actress still, yes.
Uh-huh.
And she's also a rock star fitness instructor. So it's like her day job, which is genius because it keeps her in shape. And then my little sister she's had her Broadway debut before any of us. She was a scenic painter in New York. She has a degree in light and set design. And she had like props and drops that she didn't design them, but she executed them, painted them, and they were on Broadway shows. Like, I think she had stuff in Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson and Peter and the Starcatchers. And she decided, though, that it's a really hard job for a person wanting a family, especially a woman who would be pregnant around chemicals or whatever. And she really wants that. So she was like, what can I do that's adjacent to this? So she's an architect now. She's the only one of us with a real job.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Did your other sister live in New York? They both
No,
live-
she's in Chicago, but currently she's in London with her husband on an assignment for a couple more months.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
You know, it was kind of
So you
interesting, our
came
little
from
story.
Came from an artsy family.
Yeah.
So it's no secret that you're artsy and you're good at
Yeah,
it.
we just, in like our place that we grew up, there's like rampant with like choirs and community theater and like dance studios and just very, very popular
Well,
extracurricular
how old were
things
you
there.
when you got into the theater? I
Gong.
hit my microphone. That's the gong. All right, guys, we got to do this.
Everybody chug. What the hell?
What did you just ask me?
How old are you when you like started getting into the theater? When you started doing it for
Well,
realsy?
my grandparents took us to the DIA. Like, they used to do these kid shows at the Detroit Institute of Art, and it was like magic because it was this big old theater, and it would be like Snow White, and it was like, oh my God, I thought she was literally worshipped at the altar of this actress that was playing Snow White in this like kids production. But we started pretty little. I would say like 5 they started taking us, and then we joined like the school choirs in like the 3rd grade. And then we were just always perpetually in choir, dance class, piano. We took piano
Do you still sing now?
at home in the shower.
So do I. We have something in common. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. So you did that all the way through high school and into
Into college, yeah.
Ooh, where'd you go to college?
I went to college at Michigan State University.
In
Go Spartans!
In Lansing.
East
Lansing.
Yes.
Damn it. I knew it was I don't
Oh,
know.
you knew it was a Lansing.
There's an L in there.
Yeah.
Went to Michigan State and you majored in
I majored in theater.
and
Well, I have like a cognate in communications.
Yeah.
You know, like I
Alright.
did take 4 classes in communications.
that's pretty cool.
so hard.
Yeah.
No.
No, I know communications. It's a difficult major. That's why
Is that what
everyone
you did?
everyone does it. No, I was in marketing.
So smart.
No, but I had 2 years of pre-med, so you know, whatever.
Pre-med or like just biology?
Well, it was pre-med biology.
Got it.
It wasn't like the regular biology. You know, they put the other kids in.
It's the pre-med biology.
2 years. What's up? Not going to be a doctor. That wasn't going to happen. But
Play one on TV?
I could. I should.
You should, Brittany.
I mean, I could. I enjoy it. But
Yeah.
my first job I interviewed after college was for pharmaceutical companies, like one of the first
like to do sales?
to do like a pharma rep, because those guys used to kill it back in the
They
day.
still do.
They still do,
Yeah.
but it's a lot more regulated, so it's a little harder. But those guys back
They're
when
kind
they
of
were
evil empire guys too, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad I didn't get the job. I had no professional experience. The only thing I had was just I didn't have anything. I'm not surprised they didn't hire me.
You're like, I have 2 years of pre-med biology.
Excuse me, I graduated from school, and you should hire me.
And you should have seen my amazing hair.
Dude,
I'm even
it
talking
was
about you.
so awesome. No, I know. I believe me. We'll put that picture up on the website. I did have. I mean, I know what you see now as I look at the camera, but
Don't look at the one that's doing solely your coverage.
shut up, Will.
It's a good color on you. It's good.
My brown hair.
No, I'm saying the background.
Oh. Ooh. Little Kramer. That's a little Kramer there for you. So you graduated Michigan State with a theater degree, and I'm just gonna guess.
Yeah.
You moved to LA, and you got here, and you started booking things right away, and you got really rich, and it was super easy because people who move to LA always become successful.
I know. That's what happens to people?
Mhm.
That was not
That's
necessarily
what,
my
that's
path.
what, that's what they want you to think.
I remember, okay, so I graduated and I sort of laid it on my family. I was like, I'm going to go to LA instead because most of the people I knew went to New York or Chicago. But I was like, I'm going to go big. And my whole plan was like, I'm only going to go for a year. It'll be fine. That was a while ago.
That's what everyone. That's a reoccurring theme on this
Yeah,
show.
I was like, no, I'll be like for a year and then I'll like move to New York or whatever. And I worked at a local restaurant, like just banking cash. And then I would do like 1 or 2 nights a week at a nightclub, like taking cover at the door.
Mm-hmm.
It was like any way to get as much money as possible before I left.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came out here and,
Well, that was in Detroit. You're doing that.
oh yeah, in Detroit I was doing
Gotcha.
that.
I was
didn't
like,
do that
because when you work out here, you don't make money in restaurants.
you don't make.
You
And also
don't-
like
which
you
is
can't
weird.
you can't get a server job. Like it's so competitive.
impossible, yeah.
So I was hostessing at 2 restaurants, like 2 doors down from
When you
each
got
other.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a couple months to get that.
Uh-huh.
And then
Well, did you have a place lined up, or how did when
No.
you got here? What happened? Like, tell me the day you pulled into Los Angeles. Boom. What did you see? What happened?
we stayed at a disgusting hotel like the night before our lease started.
So a Holiday Inn.
No, I think it was a Days Inn.
Oh, Days Inn.
Oh
okay.
man, it was
Holiday Inn Express.
nasty.
Which brings us to our sponsor, La Quinta.
Oh.
Right? but it was like it was more like a hostel basically, but we didn't know when we were booking it. So and like my mother was like, "What have you done? What are you doing?" And we got like the keys to the apartment, and we had like shipped everything, and we flew out, and it honestly wasn't. It was like pretty seamless. That was like not even the hardest part. I remember the most strange for me. So I got here in September of that year, but like that winter rolled around and there was no snow, and I would wake up like yearning for it. It was so strange. It was the weirdest feeling. I'm like, how are there Christmas lights? Where's the snow? It was so like odd. It felt so odd.
Yeah.
I don't know. You didn't really have snow growing up.
No, nothing. So I felt right at home.
Yeah, it was just strange. And then it like never got cold, and I'm like, I guess I'll never know time is passing, basically. But
I'll never know what month it is based
I'll
on
never
the
know.
weather.
Yeah, or I guess I'll know maybe the time of day based on where the sun is.
Yeah.
And it took me a really long time
That's
to figure out like
That's hard to do.
where north and south and east and west was.
That's the GoPro beeping hour. I don't know what that means. Anywho, well, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
The cranial cam is officially shut down for a minute. So we got a new cranial cam. Hey, it's back. For those of you who don't know, I'm fixing the GoPro so Will can have his camera angle.
Thank God.
That's a prima donna
Yeah.
over here.
You're really putting up a fight.
Please don't film me. So typical thing. You probably.
It's your pager again.
I don't know. It's supposed to work. It costs a lot of money. I think we have enough shots. We can just cut you in there. We'll figure it out in a minute. I want to get Amy back on track.
Yeah.
So you got here. Days in.
Yeah.
Mom's not freaking out, but not
But she
happy.
was just like, let's get into your apartment, because it was fine for. I think it was like very, very cheap also, which is why we stayed there, and it was like walkable around the corner from the apartment. So stuff arrived, and then she helped get me like settled, and we opened a bank account. You know, it was all very exciting.
What?
Although, yes, she helped me open a bank account, and I picked I love this bank actually, but they were like so far from my front door. I don't know why I picked this faraway bank, but it's just Citibank, and it was like 3 miles drive, and I'm like, why did I pick this bank? It's so stupid. There's like a Chase right there.
I passed 3 Bank of Americas on the way to it. It was
So
great.
stupid. But yeah, she like helped set me up, and then it was so like it's like emotional when she left, and then it's like, all right, now what? you know?
So you had no job.
I didn't have a job. I had the money that I'd
You
saved.
had money.
I didn't have like substantial, but
a couple months worth of income.
yeah, like I
imagine.
could find a job and I'd be okay.
Until you realize that whatever job you find is going to be so underpaying. It's crazy.
You know, it was criminal.
What'd you get first?
I was, actually, Craigslist. I found a little job. It's actually how I met my husband.
Ooh.
So it worked out in the long run, but it was for a company that rented like a space once a week to like sell kids acting classes. It was such a scam.
Jesus Christ.
And they literally hired me to like shepherd the families into the room, like groups at a time. And that was what I did for 3 hours on
Where
Sundays.
did they get the people from?
These scouts would like go to malls, you know, in the Inland
Yeah.
Empire, God only knows where, and like
Yeah.
these poor families would drive like hours for this like screen test, but it was really like a audition for a class. It was crazy.
That's what Page Parks was in Houston for my Houston people.
Oh, yeah.
Page Parks would sit in public areas and just, it wouldn't even be like a random person. It'd be like they'd basically send 10 people to an area, and anybody who could walk, they
Had a
would just
pulse,
walk up
yeah.
to and give a card.
You look like you could
And
be on
of
TV.
course, we got excited and ended up going, and I never heard from them again. Well, I heard from them. It was about we think you're green and you need a little bit more work before we sign you. Here's our classes we offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So watch out for that scam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was you. Good.
That
good.
was, yes. But I didn't do any of the scouting or anything, and I really didn't understand it at first. I was like, yeah, I'll just walk these people from A to B at this place. And I was like, oh, I see what's going on here. Bye-bye. So I worked there. I did that for like a couple of months.
And your husband was running it.
He worked in...
I
No.
met him there. He was the president.
He was the one that would beat the children when they didn't have enough money.
And I was like,
cough up the money.
you
kid.
are the guy for me. No.
Yeah. You're going to be an amazing father one day.
He worked for the people that owned the space that this scam company would rent. So they needed like a rep on site to like make sure that these people didn't mess with equipment or anything. And he was the guy.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you met him, and you started dating and got married within a week.
Yeah. I was a child bride.
Oh.
No. But we did meet, but we didn't start dating right away. It took a while.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's how it happens. You always marry
Yeah.
someone
It was like
you
worth the wait.
know. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
That's good. So
Yeah.
then you started hostessing.
Yeah, I worked
hostessing?
at hostessing.
Hosting.
Hosting. No,
You're hosting.
hosting like a TV show. Hostessing at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was hostessing, you know, super glam. And I'd be like, Mom, I'm going to work. I can't talk on the phone right now. I'm going to hostess at a restaurant.
Is the restaurant still going?
No, that restaurant is long gone.
Yeah, I believe
Long
it.
gone.
Yeah. A lot
It was
of
like in Hollywood. I don't even know where I parked. It's like also, I had so many tickets. Like, what a rip. And you know, tickets are so expensive now.
ridiculous.
It's like $90 for like a meter.
I got caught street sweeping. It was $68, and I get so fucking angry when I get a street sweeping ticket.
It's such an ass chap. Yeah.
It is the biggest assed chap I've ever seen.
It's
It just
infuriating.
the feeling you get when you realize you left. Like I walk out and you see it, or I was actually in my apartment and I heard the street sweeper go, "What is it? Wednesday, 10 o'clock? No!" You know, I was like, "Shit!" And I went down there. There's a ticket on my car. I was just like, "Oh, I'm just so angry."
And they're just
'cause
like waiting for you to leave your car there.
to just sit there, and then it's not my. They didn't earn it. Then you don't need street sweeping. It's totally a scam.
Absolutely,
It's
it's
street
necessary.
sweeping is necessary
100%.
once a week.
Yeah, you should clean it up. You should see what they kind of like. I'm not going to get into it, but we should absolutely have a much better waste management system, in fact, in this country. But
Also, like road
Well,
maintenance. And like,
we should have a lot of better everything.
why are all the lights horribly timed? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I-
let's talk
I
about that.
Yeah. Can we talk about trying to go up La Cienega from the 10 to get to Sunset Boulevard on La Cienega? How much of a shit show that is.
And how long it takes.
It's redonk. But you know what? Let's keep this show positive.
Yeah.
You know, bears and
those
beautiful
little-
rainbows.
In Asia, you know those little lights like that's in the middle? Those are like slightly raised, highlighted things. They have them hooked up to the water grid, so they shoot water and they automatically clean the streets with water, so there's no street sweeping. But they clean it whenever they want with recycled water from the city, too.
See,
And that's how they do it
That's
in South
amazing.
Korea. Yeah, and
That's
this is-
amazing.
And here we've got those
Take a
1970s
page.
trash machines with
Like a
broom.
Zamboni, I
Yeah,
know.
it's like,
polluting like crazy.
ridiculous. Anyway,
So you got a street sweeping ticket. No, I'm kidding.
I got so many tickets when I'd work at those jobs in Hollywood. It's like I made no money because I was constantly having to pay these fucking tickets.
I remember when my first job was about 0.6 miles away from my first apartment I lived in here. And I remember just being from Houston, I would drive my car.
Right.
to there because it's 0.6 miles, but I could never find anywhere to park because it was in Hollywood. So I had to park on the street or something.
Yeah.
And finally, like after like 3 times of doing that, I was like, I'm just going to walk.
I'm gonna walk.
Which is so weird.
So smart.
At 0.6, it's probably a little bit farther than that, but it's not more than a mile. It's in
Yeah.
between there. And I remember thinking, like, what a foreign concept for me to walk like that far. Because, growing up in Houston,
But
nobody walks.
they didn't have parking lots here. So.
They have parking lots. I would park on Hollywood Boulevard at a meter because they were free at that point.
Yeah.
Because I would bartend like at 10 o'clock, so they'd be
Sure.
free. And I'd have to drive around, try and find one.
A freaking meter, yeah.
And then I wound up driving back to my house and park like 0.2 of a mile away from my house and walk 0.5 of a mile back to work. And I was like,
This is silly.
I'm just going to walk.
Yeah.
And that was a really good day.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about acting. So you
Yeah.
got here, you didn't have a commercial agent, you didn't have any sort of agent. So what were you doing to get in the door?
I was auditioning for theater.
Okay.
That's what I did primarily. I
So
think
what-
I had a manager at one point,
Okay.
but I don't remember much happening with her.
Good.
And then I could get theater auditions for myself. So I would do those.
That's easier than acting, huh?
Theater
The
auditions?
acting, getting theater auditions.
It's just different.
Yeah.
You
How
know.
so?
Well, there's no camera.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I
you have to usually bring like a monologue. The callbacks are usually like scenes or whatever. But usually, you prepare stuff and then you see if they like you. It's very scientific.
What was your first theater booking?
My first theater booking was at the Shakespeare Center of Los Angeles, which was wonderful.
Mhm.
That was such a great experience. I met some amazing people. And I wish I could do that experience over because I feel like I did not get nearly what I could have out of that, just learning as an actor. I remember the director was really like the whole like theme, the concept of the show was all about negotiation. And I'm like, okay, like I wish I could have taken so much more from. I wish I'd been more present and like not concerned about like optics and or just things that I should have since let go of it. Then like just the craziness of scrambling to get jobs and just making connections and everything. But I loved that job, and I was telling you I think I got my first equity points on that show, which was like this thing that you strive for, and you get in line and you do these auditions and you just hope for a job.
So wait, what's equity? So people
Equity is
know.
the theater union.
Uh-huh.
The American Theater Union is Actors Equity Association, and
It's like SAG for theater.
SAG for theater. And you get insurance through it if you qualify. It's like a lot of the same benefits. And I finally booked a job at this theater, and it was like a big deal for me. It was
But
like
how did you audition for it?
I
you just
found
called them?
No. They have to post these auditions online. They're obligated because they're a union theater. And I went to a general, and I think it was a general for like, I guess their summer season. Well, they only did one show at the time, but I went to the audition, and I wore like a crazy outfit. I was wearing like fishnets and like sexy sweater dress. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get this role. And I can't remember. I think I must have done, I don't remember what monologue I did. And I got the call back, and then I got the job, and I like could not believe it because I didn't have like an agent negotiating for me. So I'm like, whatever you say, I was so excited, and they were lovely. It was a wonderful experience. And the director was like so passionate about it, and there was like a lot of experienced actors in it. And I was just trying hard, failing most of the time, but trying really hard not to be an idiot, you know? And then that job was like a summer job, and I got 7 weeks, so 7 points basically. And then a couple months later, maybe before the end of the year, I booked another play at the Gary Marshall Theater, which used to be called the Falcon, which was like a crown jewel for me. Like these are just jobs I dreamt of. And I booked it, and they're like, you can either take the points, like you can accrue more points, more weeks and points, or you can just get Taft-Hartley and get your card. And I was like, I will take my card. Thank you very much. And it was a huge deal because it was like this thing, and my sister was trying to get her card in Chicago, and it was like you just strive for this card. It's just like trying to get your SAG card, like I'll get vouchers or whatever. And
I know a guy who works on a set. He'll get us in there and get
we'll get the extra SAG vouchers. It'll be so great. We just need 3, but it was so exciting. It was like such an achievement, and I met some wonderful people. I love theater, so it's like just such an amazing communal experience, and those are some really special jobs that I booked. That was like special for me.
And did this lead to a commercial agent or a theatrical agent or?
I think it did. But nothing really came of it. I didn't really have much on-camera experience. Then I started like signing up for classes, you know, and doing stuff and scene study and stuff.
Who was your favorite class you took?
Oh,
That you would recommend if someone were like, I'm looking for a class right now. Who am I gonna take?
well, I guess it depends on what you're taking a class for.
Fair enough.
Um,
Hello, I'm Michael. I'm 29. I'm from Tallahassee, Florida, and I am looking to take a class to help me audition better when I move to Los Angeles. Can you
Yeah.
help me with that?
yeah, I guess what comes to mind, cold reading. I mean, I took Margie Haber. I didn't take hers, but I took in her school.
No one takes her. She's there. She's
like
just
a
a
myth.
name.
She's a myth.
I only teach the advanced expert class, and that happens once every 17th year
Right.
during the full moon.
Only when the
Leap years.
cicadas come from the ground do I teach.
You must go to outer space, follow Haley's comet, and I will be there teaching.
But that class was a great cold reading class, actually, if you're like auditioning for commercials. But I know that a couple of the offices that we work for around town teach amazing commercial classes. I know, the HCRLC class,
Yeah.
Mel and Liz,
I taught one. What's up?
Danielle Eskenazi, Robbie Descan's class.
It was short-lived, but it's over now. But it was good.
I bet it was
I had
magical.
8 people that learned a shit ton. Shit ton.
I believe it.
Shit ton. Shit ton.
Shit ton.
Ton. Fresh.
Yeah.
He's feeling musical today. I'll tell you what.
My advice to your 29-year-old Tallahassee guy would be take a class with the casting director who you want to audition for.
Yeah.
And I know that that's like sounds pay to play, but those classes are very good, very valuable.
And one more note is it's expect to never hear from them again too. 'Cause
Yeah,
people
it's
take
not
it.
it's not a
People
guarantee
take
of
it
employment
thinking
or
they're
anything.
gonna go in there. It's like audition for someone you want to see, but at the same time, if you're not damn good, they're probably
Yeah.
not gonna remember. Because I know from our class we had 2 people that got on our casting director's short list
That's amazing.
because they were both, but they were really good.
Really good.
Like
And they
had a
just
good-
needed the
they're
boost.
Really good.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like, cause you do all those workshops and stuff, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Like I remember I did the assistant for Modern Family, Greenberg's assistant. What's his name? Alan something.
Alan H.
I forgot his last name,
Yeah.
but Alan. So I took his class. Oh, I belong.
Cooper?
Yes,
Cooper, yeah.
I belong on Modern Family. That's the class I should be on. So I went into. I've taken his class 2 times.
Yeah?
And never heard from him ever again.
Did you get good feedback in the class? Did you learn?
I mean, yeah.
Education is never a waste, Robbie.
But here's the deal. I feel like with a lot of those workshops, and you probably can speak to this. I feel like we're probably at a level where you're not really learning anything anymore. You're pretty much going in there to strictly, you know the questions people are going to ask, and you know the answers they're going to give.
But that's the unique perspective also of a session director,
True.
you know.
Which is why I think, like, I mean, I'm not saying we're by any means cool or anything, but it's mean
No,
like
yeah.
I know what's going to happen. I'm pretty much there to.
Yeah. But I
Do-
still make mistakes. I'm
It's
like,
practice.
You know, it's definitely practice.
I'm
And
a terrible theatrical.
understanding things. Oh, you are.
I'm a terrible theatrical auditioner.
No, you're not. Didn't you book SWAT?
I did.
'Cause you're a
but
rock
it
star.
was, but it was, I booked a couple of things, but it's like, I don't know, it's different. It's hard to describe. A lot of times, my
Is-
theatrical auditions are not very good. For some
Again,
reason, I get nervous and I
practice,
put them up there on that pedestal and I make
I
it.
know.
But commercials, I never get
But
nervous.
if you were doing it enough, I bet it wouldn't be like that. The pressure wouldn't be there.
It's a valid point.
Yeah, but it's
why
really
is there pressure? Who gives this? You know what I
Because
mean?
the
Like,
stakes are high.
but for what?
Use your actor lingo.
It's funny because then you then you get on set and you're like, I was that nervous for this. Like everyone's unorganized and it's like
I
a normal
know.
working set. And
But it's like the odds of you getting in that room are so small. So like you don't want to fuck it up.
very true.
You know, it's the impression that you make too. That matters.
That's what Alan Hooper said in his class. I remember that was the one thing that blew me away, especially for me being a mid-30s white male. Like they're like, oh, we have a role for a mid-30s white male, and he's like, we got like 14,000 submissions for that.
Thousands. Yeah, they must.
14.
Think about what they
I
get
believe
for
he said
commercials.
14,000 for one of the roles. Like I believe that was for the 20s male. Because by the time you get to my age, the numbers drop off a little bit. But like the 20s, when you
Don't
get,
even start with that shit dropping off. Okay, it is so hard.
I
for
agree. No. What I'm saying is 20s
a
are
woman.
20s are different than 30s, and 30s and 40s, and then 50. Like as you go
Yeah.
up, more and more people.
100%.
It's still a lot of people, but they're weeding out. I think he said there's like a role for like a low 20s, good-looking guy, something. And he was like, yeah, I got 14,000 submissions, and we brought in 40.
Yeah,
You know?
and that's like a big day for them, I think, because I feel like theatrical auditions are very tight, very
20
short.
yeah, something like that.
They're like, we got an hour, in and out, done.
Can you imagine 14,000 people being submitted?
Yes, think about what they sift through for commercials is what I'm saying. Like,
Commercials.
there's that great sign outside of ASG and Francine's office that's like, it's like, of this day, of this audition, 3,600 people were submitted for this role. 1,000 were looked at. 50 were picked, 30 were scheduled. So don't like, this is not right. This is a privilege.
Don't say, my meter's running outside. How much longer till
I have to go.
I have to go.
I have a thing. I have to be across town for my meeting. Shut up.
I had one yesterday for a callback on Thursday,
Yeah.
which you'll appreciate this story.
Yeah.
People at home will appreciate it too, I'm sure. I was just looking.
Blue steel. Yeah.
Someone was here for a callback.
Okay.
And they needed to get in right now, even though they showed up early. They waited 10 minutes, and their scheduled time was there for like another 45 minutes. But they needed to audition now because they had another call. They had another first call audition across town they had to get to.
Oh, well, they're just dumb.
And I looked at them, and I looked at the casting director because she heard her say it, and I was just like,
Bird in the hand.
"Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? You're
at the
one step away from,
callback,
but you're at the
yeah. Let's
callback here.
not. Also,
Be-
it's a first call. You could probably
be
go
late
later.
to the first call.
Have
Like,
your agent handle
And
it.
don't be a and I was so mad. I was so glad when they didn't book it. I was like, yes, like they would, because we actually did work them in sooner than we should have, but not right away.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh God, if they like you,
I mean, you got to pick your battles. I feel like that is just a good motto for life.
yeah.
That's like one of those things. But I get it. I mean, that stress is real. You've been there too.
Mm-hmm.
That stress is real. Like
It is
and
real.
you're the pressure, and you're like, I gotta park, and I gotta get there, and who knows what the 10's gonna be like.
She's coming this way. Well, just as a reminder, Amy is also a session director, much
Yeah.
like myself. She runs commercial. Who do you work for a lot around town?
I worked very often at 200 South.
Uh-huh.
That's like my home base,
Yeah.
basically. I worked for Allison a bit. I worked for Francine a bit. I haven't worked too much on the West Side. I worked at Silver Lane, for
Yeah.
Shane and Bad Girls.
Oh, yeah.
And but I was generally an East Side kind of Hollywood gal.
See, I'm a West Side Santa
West
Monica
Side.
person, so
Yeah.
me and you never really crossed
You got your
paths.
turf. I got my turf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're always welcome on my turf.
Same.
Oh.
Although I haven't really done it since I had a baby.
So far away. What's the 10 like?
I don't know. Never a good heading east.
You don't think you could hold the baby in run sessions?
If he was, no. I was trying to
You
find
tried.
like a perfect
Like,
age.
Maybe I could. No.
If he was milk drunk, I'd have maybe half an hour.
Milk drunk.
Yeah, when they're like full and just like snoozing after a feeding.
Yeah, I get quesadilla drunk then.
Same.
Just get full. And
I get apple drunk lately.
apple drunk?
I love apples.
Really?
It's my favorite season of the year.
Do they? Interesting. They fill you up?
Well, I mean, yeah, an apple a day also is like very good for the whole like, apple in, apple out situation.
Is it true?
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
so doctors aren't liars. I should know. I was almost one for 2 years.
You want to brag about that third time?
2 years of
Two.
bio pre-med.
Shoot. Apple a day keeps the bio pre-med away.
But yeah, I love apples. What's
Yeah.
your favorite apple? Honeycrisp? Me too. Or Macintosh if I'm back in the Midwest.
I think I like the
Pink Lady too.
Also,
Washington apples.
Macintosh is the best choice, but it's Granny Smith because I like a tart apple.
Well, that's a really good apple for pie. I'm going to tell you right now.
I know. I like the tartar
Yeah.
apples. So that's
Tartar
why-
crisp, not like tartar mushy.
No, fuck
Yeah.
the mushy apple and fuck
My
that.
husband really likes Red Delicious. I'm like,
You can make apple
You know,
pie.
it's an overhyped
oh, yeah.
apple brand.
Baking is my therapy.
Fiji.
Fiji, I've heard good things about Fiji.
Fiji good, but
and,
they're- but
and Gala and Jazz.
Yeah, all solid traditional apples, but oftentimes I find Fiji apples to be soft, like those mushier ones.
They're
and
soft.
I'm like,
Okay.
just crisp up a little bit. Get
Although
some backbone.
it depends
Apple.
sometimes because that apple could be really good for certain things.
Yeah. Oh no, like if you're making applesauce, you're gonna go all day with the mushier apples. It's just a smart call.
You make a lot of applesauce, Will?
I have. I used to.
I have not. I haven't made applesauce in decades.
I used to be
Aging
quite
myself.
picky, and so my mom.
She had to make it for you?
My mom. Well, no, she didn't have to, but it was like I ate a bunch of like applesauce and peanut butter, and it was like
Yeah.
the basic rule of thumb was like the blander and beigeur the food, I was good to go.
You
If it
are.
had a splash of color, get it away from me. But now I'm good. I eat anything.
So you're not a fan of the rainbow sherbet.
No.
Oh my God,
I
the
still don't like
best.
rainbow. I still think like rainbow sherbet's like a waste of an ice cream flavor. You know? It's
Oh,
like,
you are broken.
Wow.
No, I'm not.
It's so good.
I'm not. I'm like,
Honestly, who
listen, you
who
focus
hurt
on
you during your
chocolates?
childhood? 'Cause
You
it was
focus on your
so-
chocolates, or you focus on one flavor of berry. You know, get this multi-flavored sugar mess out. All right.
Rainbow
Sharpen
sherbet
up.
It's
Again,
so good.
the best.
you guys are wrong.
It's so
the best
good.
flavor of ice cream
It's
is
the
mint
best.
chocolate chip, and that's a fact.
Oh God,
That's
you
a
are
fact
so
passed
basic.
down by God himself. That was the 11th commandment that Moses.
Chocolate
So
chip ice
Amy
cream.
has booked a ton of commercials throughout her career in Hollywood. A couple of your orange juice commercial.
Yeah, that was such a fun one.
Your
That was
tax
my-
commercial, which
Yeah.
I definitely want to talk about.
Oh
That
my God, let's talk about it.
huge celebrity you got to talk to.
Oh God, he's so handsome.
Is he?
Now it's like looking at the sun. You know, it's like I try not to stare, but like don't forget to blink.
I mean,
but like don't be stupid. Like so many thoughts.
You had to stare at him the whole commercial.
I know it was so hard.
You did that funny classic Amy Handelman look.
What?
I don't know how to. Not that one. Not that one you just did.
I didn't
were
know I
you-
had classic looks.
I don't know. Whenever I've auditioned you a ton, and
Yeah.
I feel like you're really good at that look. You're kind of well. First off, why don't you tell them what the commercial was? It was a turbo
Or H&R Block.
H&R Block tax.
Mhm.
Yeah, tax.
H&R Block. I got to do 2 of them. They were amazing.
With
Jon Hamm. No, Jon Hamm.
that's his brother. He's from Sweden. No, Jon Hamm. He
Jon
is very
Hamm.
handsome.
Oh my God.
In case you guys remember, it's the one where she was a crafty or a bakery.
I
or,
was.
Yeah,
I was
you're
crafty. I was on
and-
set crafty. Yeah.
On set crafty, and he had donuts, and Jon Hamm breaks down taxes by using donuts to
It was
show.
like so smart. He's so smart.
He's so smart. What made him so smart?
No, he's just like, God, he's so beautiful and he's super pro. He was so nice. Like I was standing there and I was shivering because it was early in the morning and they were getting a lot of shots that day. And the sun wasn't up, so it was kind of dark. And I was wearing like a light shirt, you know. And I was like, I'm fine. No, but shivering. And he's like, can we get her like some heat or something? And they brought like a fan over for me, like a heat fan based on his request. You know, I certainly never would have gotten that treatment. Not that they weren't lovely, but like,
I get a heat?
he's-
Shut up! Shut up!
but he was like just really like a
Stand
team
behind
player.
the truck.
Go stand by the exhaust pipe.
Right.
yeah. You stand there.
No, and at the time I was like, be cool, but I didn't want to get sick because I was like so new pregnant at that time with my son. So I
You
was
were-
like, yeah,
You were pregnant
I
still.
was, but I
Yeah.
was not like showing yet. A lot of my cheeks were showing, but like my face cheeks, you know, like I felt like I was a blimp. But
you look normal.
I was like freezing, and I was like, just be cool, keep it together. But he was so nice. He was so lovely.
Did you? Yeah, because he basically walks up and he starts breaking the donuts in half and talking about
Yeah, like
just
manhandling my donuts,
manhandling, touching
the-
all of them. That was-
manhandling my Handelman donuts.
did they want you to improv that line, or was that actually scripted? We were like,
We
you,
did-
You touched all the donuts.
He definitely touched all the. We played around a bit.
Mm-hmm.
We played around a bit. I can't remember if that was one of the scripted ones or not. They didn't. And also he is the hero here, so I didn't want to step.
Mm-hmm.
So if he was going to improv, I was going to contribute. But this was his show,
Mm-hmm.
so know your role.
And you were just staring at him while he was describing the donuts.
I mean,
to you.
I was trying not to stare, but yeah, a little bit I was staring.
But that's what a lot of acting is. Like people don't think about it. Like whenever people come in, they try to act. They try to show you they're acting, right?
Yeah.
They try to say, "Look at me, I'm
Doing
giving,
it so hard.
I'm doing it so well."
Emotions,
You're
yeah.
watching instead of just actually doing it.
Yeah.
They're just being emotional. And I think that look that you did shows a lot of your professionalism because you're very still, and I could read your mind based off your face, even though you weren't doing anything.
Good.
Which is good acting, you know what I mean? Like
Thanks.
when you watch movies, like my acting teacher now says you pay to watch people think. when you watch
100%.
movies, and so it's like
Yeah.
I could 100 without even.
Yeah.
There's no doubt what you were thinking while he was sitting there talking to you, like just touching all your donuts. You could just like quit touching my fucking.
You're touching my
What are you
motherfucker. I gotta go get more donuts now.
Yeah.
You fucker.
Was that your thought when he was doing it?
Oh yeah, but also I was like, you can touch my donuts, man. Like, 'cause he's just he's beautiful, and he's got like such a great air, and he was honestly like, I can't even say enough nice things because he was such a good team player. Like he was like, sure, let's do it again. Like he was just so good, like getting what they needed, and he
Yeah.
had like a long day ahead of him, and I think it was like not even his first day on this job, and he was
Yeah,
lovely.
'cause they did like 6 of them.
Yeah, it was like
'Cause I think-
like crazy shoot for him.
Probably just went for spotless, because I know Tom Musgrave booked.
Yeah.
He booked his, which is
Tom
really
Bone.
funny too.
Yeah.
You guys had the same thing, a different commercial, but I can imagine him walking off your set, walking straight to Tom's
Oh
set.
yeah, they did
and
it all on the same set.
I imagine
It was
that
like
the
different
back lot?
sections. It was,
Warner Brothers.
I think it was Paramount.
Was it Paramount?
I honestly don't remember.
It looked like one of those. Like you could tell the buildings were like that kind of lot.
Yeah, but it was great because then they could go around the corner and it was like the desert, and they
Yeah.
could go around the other corner. We were in a store and like, oh, over here now it was
You're
on
in a bank.
stage.
It was a
yeah.
bank vault. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So
That's one of my favorite things about sets is like when it's
Yeah.
whole different environments. It's like you
Around
turn
the
a
corner.
It's like I'm in a house and now I'm in the Wild West. Like that.
like
I love that.
schizo,
It gets
like,
me so excited.
experience.
Yeah, it really is cool.
Now I'm in outer space.
and you're like trying to find the bathroom. You're like, is it past the nursery where the where the horses are? Like, you're like I don't know.
Go through the torture chamber.
Yeah.
If you've hit the hospital, you've gone too far.
You've gone too far. Yeah.
I'll just use the bathroom. And did you find it? Yes.
I think so.
I think
found
so.
a bathroom.
Who shit in the prom bathroom? Oh God.
Someone
have
pissed
said.
on the torture chamber seat
Yeah.
there. Let me.
Oops, sorry.
But do you also? So Mr. Hamm was nice. See, I love stories like
He
that
was
when you hear
lovely.
people are cool.
Oh yeah.
And I think that is more the norm. Is celebrities are usually pretty cool on
Yeah.
set.
And he really wanted to play, which was like so fun. Like he
Yeah.
wasn't stiff and tough and like macho about any of it.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
I mean, he's making a shit ton of money to sit there and
Yeah.
eat
That'll make
donuts.
anyone nice, you
Yeah.
know? But like also he was happy to be there.
Yeah,
You know?
that's true. Not a lot of people are happy to be on those sets. It's like, ugh. I'm supposed to be in Bora Bora right now, and I'm making $1 million.
I don't ever get that because I'm like, this only benefits you, but what do I know? I'm not at that level.
No, I mean it's exactly what you wanted, and now you're getting it. So, well, that's cool. I love that
Yeah.
story. What about your orange juice commercial?
Oh,
Ooh.
that was my first like big job, and that was really fun. I got to travel to Florida, and it was like my first job, so I could not. I was like, this is gonna be the rest of my life. Like it was like every job's gonna be like this, and they fly you, and it's so nice. And we stayed at this beautiful hotel, and we were right on the beach. And then you go for like 4 days, but you really work one day. But it's because you have to travel, and then you have your fittings and rehearsals and whatever, and then the actual shoot, and then your second travel day. So it's all full, but it feels like such a luxury that you only have to work essentially one day of this trip. But it was really nice. I love that director. I'm still friends with the people from that shoot. It was so fun. That was the best.
Did you get per diem?
Oh, I got per diem, and I was like, I am going big. And Mr. Chow was the restaurant at the hotel, and one of the other actors and I were like, you want to do Mr. Chow? You want to do Mr. Chow? Let's go Mr. Chow. And so we went and like ate all the noodles. It was fantastic. Drank
Did
all
you
the
spend your
drinks.
per diem? Yeah, man. I spent it
man.
all.
On noodles.
Mr.
And we
Chow.
like wandered around. It was so fun. That was a really great experience.
And who was your commercial agent?
I'm with AKA.
AK. And do you remember how you got them?
Yes, a meeting. I got a referral,
Yeah.
and I was able to sit down and meet with them, and they're just so chill and so nice, and they get back to me when I ask them even the dumbest questions. They're just wonderful.
Like it was referral through a friend of yours that was with them? Or a casting director?
Casting referral.
And you were a session director at this point, or no?
I was.
You were.
I was, and I had another agent that I loved.
How did you get into that?
It's funny how we fall like ass backwards into this stuff. I had a friend. Okay, we'll go back to summer camp. Okay,
What year?
99.
Okay.
Okay.
Summer camp,
Summer camp
49.
1962. I
49.
wasn't born yet, but
Yeah.
someone else
My
was.
mother's a high school girl.
I was wearing my favorite yellow dress. No, I was at summer camp in Michigan, and I worked at the summer camp that did like vast international outreach to like offer visas to other like staff aged kids, basically like early 20s, late teens, to come, and they'd be obligated to work for the summer, and then they'd get like a year visa out of it. So we had probably like 2,000 staff. It was a huge camp, and I happened to get placed in this one village, like an age group, with this other girl. Like of all the like possibilities, we happened to get placed together, Daniela, and we became best friends. She's from Australia. She's from Melbourne, and turns out she had like dual citizenship because her mom was from here, and she was constantly back and forth visiting family, and she eventually wanted to work in the industry in LA, and she was in school in Melbourne for like arts and stuff, but like she wanted to do casting. That's her passion. And fast forward then to I'm in LA, and she's like, I'm finally coming. I've gotten some experience here, and I really want to move to LA and try it, try the market there. So she comes here, and she's working. We're living in the same apartment building. We're having a wonderful time, but then she decides to move back, and she wants to start a business there. And she is the first office in Melbourne to use casting networks. And she needed like an LA rep to be her contact. It turns out it was Mel from Mel and Liz Casting. Oh. And she hooked me up with Mel to work at LA Casting, actually, not even to be a camera operator. And Mel and I clicked. I love Mel. She's my soul sister. I would give her a kidney if she needed it. I love her. And she was so generous to me and really took me under her wing and she decided to leave LA Casting to go into actual casting with Liz. And she brought me to run camera for her. And it was like I had to decide rather quickly, like, am I going to work at LA Casting on the phones, or am I going to be a cam op? And I was like, I'm just going to take this leap and go with Mel and work as a session director. And she was the only one that hired me for a very long time. You know,
Yeah.
you have to wait
That's
for
how it always
somebody
is.
to have like an emergency. We need you right now.
Yeah.
And I was in a position that I could like drop everything and run over there and like run a day of callback for Ross. And then he started to hire me. And then the other people there started to hire me, but it took a while.
Yeah.
But that's how I lucked into it. All
then-
because of this friend I made in the summer of 99.
That's
Summer
wild.
of
Yeah.
That's
99.
funny.
Yeah, I remember the first time I met you. I had just started session running. I've been doing it for like a year.
I
And
don't. When did you start?
2013.
Oh, bless your little baby heart.
Oh, it's so baby. Look how small it is. And so I remember, it was probably like 2013 or probably 14 even.
Yeah.
I auditioned for Mel and Liz casting, and that was when every time I'd go in, I was just so excited to be a session runner, to be one of
I
you
know, like,
guys.
I got you.
So every time I went into audition, I'd be like, tell the camera, hey, I'm a cam up too. I work over at
I
Lisa
remember when you
Fields
told me
casting.
this, yeah.
And I remember that you were like, had these cool Adidas shoes on, and you were like so confident running around. I was like, and I was like, hi, I'm so and so. I just introduced yourself to everybody because
Yeah.
I just remember meeting you, and you're just like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
So get on the blue line.
I was probably like way behind and like getting it out by.
I mean, like, you weren't like rude, but it was just kind of like, yeah, great.
But you know, to be fair, in my own defense,
Great.
and you've probably experienced this too, like there's a lot of people that really want to do that job, but they don't necessarily understand what it means to do that job and like the commitment of it, and it is intense and it's a trust issue, and like, you know, and a fair amount of people have come through and been like, I'm running camera, and then like I never see them again. You weren't one of those.
No.
You sure weren't.
No, I haven't been in for Mel and Liz in a long time either. Probably they don't. Do they do a lot of union stuff?
Yeah,
That's
they
'cause
do
you're
both.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Or that.
Look at his face.
He's so
Supposed to
mean.
be on the same team, Will. Same team. You're
Fix my camera.
you're
Where's my camera?
Oh yeah, you're so proud of yourself
Yeah.
right
Just kidding.
now. Hold on, let me fix this camera.
Have you been to their new studio? It's beautiful.
I think I have.
On Larchmont and Melrose.
Oh, Larchmont Studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just went there. Actually, I have a call back tomorrow for a Sanford casting.
Oh yeah, he's out of there now. I think.
Yeah. So I was there. Look at that.
Beep beep beep. Oh, it's my pager.
Oh, look who's back in action. Producer Will
I'm so excited.
rolling. Just as you know,
Rolling.
Will is no longer going to be. All right.
That's on you.
So, what's that? Oh, that's on me? I didn't realize. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
I just wanted to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
think we're just gonna
I was totally joking. Like I didn't. I was just saying that just to like have a
I think
comeback.
we're going to be without the Crandall can the rest of the show.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
buddy.
It's
For those of you who want to see more of Will Crandall, we'll get some cell phone shots and some general stock footage and a gym look there. Don't worry. We
I
won't-
don't. No one's sitting back going. You know what I want more of? The unnamed guy.
There will. Yeah, you're.
He plays a key role in this whole.
Crandall can, man. No, yeah, I actually was the same as you. I started running sessions and then nobody hired me.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Who started you running them?
Lisa.
Lisa. How did you know Lisa?
Well, technically Steve did. So Steve Holm got me.
Yeah.
He got me. I started working for him. I basically did Will's job.
Oh my God.
Producer Will's job.
Did
But
you run around to all the studios like doing the telecommunicating?
I did that. I worked here and I I had the old studio. I was kind of like just helped him out.
Oh.
But I knew cameras. I had been working with cameras forever, so I knew cameras and I knew computers. So
2 years
Steve-
of
Steve-
cameras, pre-cameras.
Well, I had my own like director set, like my
Oh,
own
I
camera.
see.
I directed stuff. Yeah, well, you're not gonna be on camera today. Sorry.
I gave up like an hour ago.
I feel bad. I don't know why it's doing that. Matter of fact, I'm
I know,
gonna
I
send
just
this
think
bitch
it's
back. Another point. So Steve taught me how to run camera.
Yeah.
Taught me how to do it, and I never
Oh.
had. But like you said, it's people don't understand. There's a part of it is knowing how to do it, and there's part of it getting the trust of someone because you know,
Yeah.
a lot of the casting directors don't really pay attention anymore when they trust people.
I mean,
They set you off to do your task and they'll spot check
as
videos.
long as they trust you.
But they'll
Otherwise
spot
they won't
check.
like-
They'll watch
yeah.
the first one. They'll watch two to make sure you're getting
Yeah.
it what they want, and then
Yeah.
they kind of just stop paying attention. At the end of the day, they go off our
They're like,
recommendations.
who are your favorites?
Yeah,
Blah blah blah.
because especially if they have 3 jobs going on, they're not going
It's
to watch
too
the
mu- and they're
footage of
prepping
all of
2
it.
more, and they're on the phone,
It's
yeah.
going crazy. So it's a trust thing. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard to get in people's.
It takes a long time, and you have to be able to like train for a really long time without making any money. Like I trained for 4 months before I got paid, because I was like, I want to make sure I feel very comfortable with this.
Holy shit! I did
I was-
not do that
yeah.
whatsoever.
But you also were around it before I like just cold turkey started it.
I had worked in the studio, so while I was working in the studio, I would mess
You would
around
mess,
with it.
yeah.
But it's still nothing like.
You
There's
know,
nothing like the feeling of when the casting director said, because I remember the first job I ever did was for Lisa for a callback.
Okay.
So they were in the room.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like I wasn't really doing anything.
Your
except,
first job was a callback?
Yeah.
What the hell?
We told Lisa many years later, but she didn't know that I had presented myself as a cam op.
I didn't even
to
do
her.
callbacks for like months after I started. I was like petrified
First
of the
job.
edit.
I think callbacks are easier though.
Of course they
it's
are.
Like you don't do any. You do less.
You hit the button.
You press
You make
record.
sure people know where to stand.
So for me, I was very comfortable with it because I brought him in, I do it, and the director was from Eastern Europe, so he
Ooh.
doesn't really know how it worked either. He just was kind of like, that was the one where did you work here? No, you didn't work here yet.
Oh my God.
He was crazy. There was a bunch
Yeah.
of hot models.
Hotties, yeah.
And he was so mad because they couldn't act, and we were just like, yeah, like first off, you're doing non-union.
It's a joke.
You're doing non-union.
Non-union models?
Non-union
Come on
models. They're hot. The ones that are super duper hot and can act are the ones that are big celebrities because that's why. And so he was pissed off. None of these models could act. He walked in the lobby. He was yelling at the casting director, saying, in front of the girls, they could all hear what he's saying. No one can act this. This is crazy. We're in Los Angeles. How can these people not know how to act? And he turns around and looks at a girl sitting on the bench. She goes, "You cry." And she of course, she's non-union. And she's like, looked at him. She goes, "Okay." And started to like cry on the bench in the lobby in front of 20 other girls. And like tried it. And he goes, "See what I mean?" And he went back in the room and slammed the door.
Oh,
and I remember being like, "Are you kidding me?"
Stop.
Like if that was an actor, I'd be like, "No, fucking book me and I'll cry for you." Like, no, fuck you. Like, don't talk to me like that. Like, I mean, that was my first job I ever worked, so I didn't know how to say. I was just like, you should know how to cry. You know, and it was crazy. But that was like my first job ever, and I'll remember that story the day I died because he was like, "You cry," and she of course goes, "Okay." Like it was bad. It was obviously because he can't just fucking.
She's probably petrified, poor thing.
They all were because they heard him screaming at the casting director before that about how none of these girls were any good, and then he turns around and looks at one and says, "You cried." Now it's like, cry, fuck, bring me in the room and
you can pay me to cry, thanks.
and I'll go sit in the room and I'll make you guys wait 3 minutes while I get into it.
Yeah.
I can't cry on camera, but I know people that do. Like I've had people walk in here and they say, "I'm sorry, can you give me?" I'll put my hand up when I'm ready. And exactly like.
Yeah.
Do your thing. It's not easy.
Yeah.
No one's Denzel. They can't just cry out of which eye they feel like crying out of,
I know
Denzel can
so
do
good
that?
like that.
Pretty much. He can go like, okay. Oh, no, that's what Jordan Peele said when he auditioned the guy that played the lead for Get Out. What's his name?
Oh.
Daniel
Kalule,
I think. Kalule.
He said the reason why he booked him in his audition was because he wanted the line said, starts to cry in the audition. And he did it 3 times, and all 3 times a tear started to come down at that moment in the script when it said a tear comes down his eye when he was reading. He was like, "Holy shit!" He thought it was like a thing, and then they reset. He cleaned himself off, and then did the scene again. And right at that moment, here came a tear. He was just like, "Yeah, we're gonna book you."
We're gonna book you.
Yeah, I mean the dude's an animal. I liked he was in one of the first seasons of Black Mirror.
Uh-huh.
And that's where I
was.
saw him. He was in episode 2 of Black Mirror, which I think is maybe the best episode besides the John Hamm episode, White
That's a
Christmas.
great episode.
He's in the million credits, the bike one, where it's the whole where you bike to power
With
the station.
what's her name, Sybil from
Bingo.
Downton Abbey. Yeah.
Yep, with the Downton Abbey girl.
That's right. You're right. That's him.
we're gonna
that's
be able
him.
to play that back. When he said John Hamm, your face changed from like, "That's right,"
My
and then back to
dude.
being normal again.
My boy.
I can see that split second of like.
Yeah, right.
I can see them when he said John Hamm. You saw John Hamm on top of a horse, no shirt, with a sword in one
Like
hand,
that one picture
and a
of
shield
Pete.
that says "I love Handelman." Like that, when he said John Hamm, that's what you saw for about a half a
All
second.
spelled properly too. Perfect.
It's like you guys are in my brain. It's weird.
Dude, I'm telling you, we got video footage. I'm gonna play it back. I'm just gonna freeze it on the online version, and just your face when he says John Hamm.
It's gonna be
you're
a meme.
I think you actually started to take your shirt off for a second.
I didn't think you saw that. Damn. Damn.
Nothing.
Nothing to see
Robbie
here.
misses nothing. He is the eyes of a hawk.
Oh,
Very
anyway,
hawky.
That was a hawk noise.
Hawkish, yeah.
hawkish. Did we get through the orange juice?
Yeah, we talked about it.
We did. Did we get through it though? I feel like halfway through we.
I don't remember. I
Yeah.
just that experience will stay with me. That was a great time.
And we're done
yeah,
with that.
The end.
We've wrapped it all up. So what
We're
can
talking about cam ops.
Oh, we are.
Cam oppage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I was set to tangent, I'm having such a good time.
I'm so glad I could do that for you.
Yeah, no problem. Well, if people are trying to become a cam up, what do you think the best course of action is? A lot of people ask me all the time.
I know. I don't really know, to tell you the truth, because there's no linear path to it. I feel like every single person I know has a different way that they got to it. And it's not for everybody. Everyone's like, I want to do it. I'm like, I mean, are you okay with this, and this? Because then if you are, then it might be a good job for you. It's not like we're making millions.
Are you okay saying the same thing over and over again for 8 hours?
8 hours for 3 days?
For 3
Are you okay with that? And then again at the callback for 7 hours? Okay. No breaks. No pee breaks.
No lunch either.
No lunch
You
either.
don't
You'll
go
be
lunch.
working. That'll be a working lunch.
Yep. You'll eat. Okay, can you step on the lunch?
Yeah.
Step on the lunch, please.
I know.
Just
I
chomping
mean,
down.
yeah. You have to be, it's not like you're not making $1 million.
Mm.
The hours can be really tough. And always, I find that the biggest stress is when you get an audition and the cover scramble is like
hate
cover
that.
roulette. It's just really intense.
I hate it, but I love it.
I know, but
Because
then
we
it's
still
like,
get to go to auditions and, still make a decent
and
day
sometimes
rate.
we can get the hookup when you're there and you're like, please, I'm running a session right now and I have to get back to Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's hard, but like, yeah, it's also when it works out, it's great. You're like, and I booked it,
So that callback for Sanford on Monday, I'm
Yeah.
working a job here Monday. The callback is here.
What time? Wait, the callback is here?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I don't know, but I saw the sheet and I almost peed my pants. I
That
was
is
like,
such a
great,
gift.
because session or casting directors don't like you to get covers during callbacks. Usually
Callbacks,
you gotta give
no.
up
Yeah, you got to give it up.
the day. So I was like, man, I got to give up the money, and then it was like,
I know.
it's that Envision. I was like,
Shut.
Envision, fresh across the hall, fresh.
That's going to be great.
Yeah,
Do you have a long day for your
I
callback that
do.
you're working?
It's gonna be a nightmare. Will, don't you do that face? You like my DJing?
Are you going to be able to sneak away?
I already talked to her. She's great. She's ready.
Oh,
Whatever.
Yeah. Well, it'll just be a
It's
water
five-
in, water
it's
out
five-
break.
It will be.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, I gotta go to the bathroom. Skirt. Hello, my name's Robby D. I'm here for the role of man, nudist, I believe.
I don't know. Is that what you auditioned for
Yeah,
the
it
first
really is.
time?
I'm serious.
Callback, different role, the nude one.
So, no, I was a nudist.
Oh my God, did you have to get nude?
Yeah, I got to keep my pants on.
Thank God.
In the commercial, I won't. I don't care. Give me that day rate plus residuals,
Double scale?
double scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. They give you the.
The nude
I
scale?
was trying to think
nude
of a
bump.
penis scale joke, but I can't think of one. They give you the same scale as your penis, so it's triple scale.
But,
Great joke, Robby. Really.
Thank you. We'll get
Killed it.
Guess who gets the final edit? I do. That's gone.
he's gonna spend the next like 3 months
Right.
thinking of a joke and just edit it
Just
in.
gonna
like,
re-record it.
Yeah, like re-record it.
It's gonna cut in. It's like, how did you get? Like, the camera's gonna show my mouth, and it's gonna be telling a joke. My mouth's
It's
gonna
going
be
to be
going.
like horrible
And
TBS
that's what
dubbing.
they say is that.
It'll be like the South Park.
But you
That's
know
a
when they're
good
saying
idea.
like fuck and they're like boop. They say like the most obvious non-correct word.
What was the Big Lebowski won the award for best all-time dubbing when he said when John Goodman is he's destroying the Corvette and he says, "This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass, Larry," and he's beating the shit out of the Corvette. They dubbed him to say, "This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps," and they gave that the award for like the best TV dubbing. It's a
I
good
never
one.
knew that.
Wait,
That's
I
funny.
forgot the Bruce Willis was in Die Hard. Yippee-ki-yay, I can't remember that. That one was like second place.
The Snakes on the Plane is one of my favorites. Growing up, when you like watch it on like Comedy Central, it's like, I'm tired of these Monday to Friday snakes on this Monday to Friday plane. And it's like, what?
That's pretty awesome.
It was good.
I've
I've
just never seen that movie. No.
Oh, it's pretty terribly like you get what you
Friday.
get from
Yeah.
a movie about snakes on a plane. But like one of my favorite, like the directors clearly had a blast because like I watched it and this like there's a scene where like this couple is having sex in the airplane bathroom.
That's
and
the one scene I've seen from that movie.
And snakes leap out of the toilet and attack them. And
a
the
snake.
woman bursts out of the bathroom naked with obviously gigantic fake breasts heaving. And she's
Heaving.
and the snake is on each nipple and they used milk snakes. Like that was the species. And so all those little funny details are it's a fun, it's very stupid, but very fun movie.
Dude, whenever I'm in the airplane bathroom, I gotta watch out for that trouser snake. See, that's another quality joke.
Penis jokes.
Terrible.
Nailed it.
Come on, penis jokes before noon or afternoon, whatever this is.
That's like 41 minutes after.
Yeah. Well, you think those jokes are bad, Amy?
Yes.
Speaking of bad,
Mm-hmm.
this next segment's going to be really bad.
Can't wait.
It's the most difficult segment of the show.
Oh.
I need you to strap in your imaginary seatbelt there.
Okay, let me just.
The shoulder harness, too.
Okay.
Strap it in.
I'm gonna do it like
Yep.
my son's
It's one of those. It's the 5-point.
harness.
Yeah.
Like this, like the high chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that? Did you get them all?
I got it all. Oh, I didn't get the. Hold on.
Oh Jesus.
Okay.
Wonderful. That's
1,
some,
2, 3, 4, 5.
you know what? That's some good space work, but not even that can save you now. It's time to introduce you to the most difficult segment of the show. Method Acting. For those of you playing along at home, I will give Amy a scenario, and Amy will answer her question as that character in that scenario. Do you think you're ready? You're not.
We're going to find out.
You're not.
I'm not.
Question 1. Justin Verlander asks you to volunteer for the Houston Astros organization and teach children's classes.
My fee is $1 million. And also a new car with a big trunk for the stroller.
And then he would let you know that you're going to be ripping kids off, you would say.
$2 million. And 2 cars.
Not bad. But you're not out of the woods yet. Question 2.
Okay.
You attend a theatrical audition, and they ask you to perform a brief monologue in Shakespearean style about your hometown of West Bloomington/Detroit.
May I have a moment to prepare?
No.
Shit.
Start monologue now.
In West Bloomfield, where I doth hail from, we like pop, not soda. And in the mornings, you must scrape your car of snow and sleet. And in the afternoons, you must do it again. In the winter, specifically.
Not gonna lie, that's pretty good stuff. But answer me this question 3. Jon Hamm asks you to lunch and orders you a Jon Hamm and cheese sandwich.
I would say, Mr. Hamm, that is so nice of you to order me lunch, but I keep kosher, so I don't eat ham. But you are great. So you have a nice day with your ham sandwich.
And then he takes his shirt off.
And then I faint.
And that's it for method acting.
Ooh. Pressure is real.
It was
Robby.
close.
Yeah.
It was close. I can see you sweating. You remember that sweat you talked about earlier?
I do remember.
You did
That's why
an
my
excellent
arms
job.
are down.
That sweater was light green earlier, and now it's... All right, Amy, I'm going to get you out of here on the last question. I ask all my guests.
Okay.
And that's, what would Amy Handelman now tell Amy Handelman going south from Detroit through Chicago to get on the 80 to head to Los Angeles?
Mm-hmm.
Although you flew here, didn't you?
I did fly.
What
But
would Amy
I've done the
Handelman-
drive once.
What would Amy Handelman now tell Amy Handelman going to Detroit International Airport, which is a lovely airport, to fly to Los Angeles to start her career?
Detroit Metropolitan Airport. Flying Spirit. Just, fancy pants Spirit.
What would Amy Handelman on the Spirit airplane somewhere above the earth in between Detroit Metro and Los Angeles LAX airport tell Amy Handelman? Yeah. Then. What would you say?
I'd say, you got to calm down, girl. Calm down and work smart, not hard. Well, I mean, do work hard, but work smart.
Mm-hmm.
Make
What
the
do
most.
you mean by calm down?
I just mean, I felt like so frantic and so much pressure about like connections and like just, I think sometimes the wrong things, just like, I don't know, like being at the right parties, which does matter, but like not necessarily doing the work,
Mm-hmm.
So
I got you.
tell myself, work a little smarter.
It's smart.
Is it? Well, I mean, hindsight's always
It's smarter.
clear. Yeah.
That's great advice. And this is a great show. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and viewing on all of our cameras. Amy, fantastic stuff. We're
Thanks.
excited
Thanks,
to
Robby,
see.
for having me.
We're excited. I'm excited to see you in the audition room in the future. I love when you come in. You always do a great job, and you're very
Sweet.
fun to watch. And I love producer Will.
Yes.
Did a great job today. Thanks.
Thank you.
You're wonderful.
You
As
also
always.
did good.
Some pretty good singers there.
Some good will
Great job.
looks to the cam. Or what do we call those looks?
Jim looks.
Gym looks.
Yeah.
Fantastic show there, producer Will. I'm just kidding. Did a
Thanks.
great job. I did a great job as well. No need to tell me because it's in there. We know. This has been Robby D and the Lesser Knowns. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next week. Don't forget to look on YouTube and watch the visual version if you just listen to us, or if you don't want to listen to us, watch us right there on Robby D and the Lesser Knowns on YouTube. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Robby D and the Lesser Known.